Have you ever scrolled shorts and saw a video with a game like this and wondered, I should rewrite this in C? You thought I was gonna say Rust? Don't be silly and read the video title. Anyways, I did. So the next thing I had to do was choosing a library in which I will make the game. I chose the simple direct media layer because it was the first one I found. I opened VS Code and stared onto the screen like an idiot. Yeah, I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. So, how to make a game with SDL? What am I doing with my life? I found this tutorial by Harvard because smart have to commend Harvard for putting cat on their profile picture and watched till like the half of the tutorial, got bored and started programming. After a bit of fumbling around, I made Walter. But you know what's better than one Walter? More Walters. Getting this to work took a few iterations. Now it works by saving all the players into a linked list. When we want to add a new player, based on the length of that linked list, we calculate an angle, and based on that angle, we place the new character on the unit circle. We can add more rings, and look, we now have an army of red guys. Just ignore the uwu here. I was just fumbling around with text rendering. What we miss, however, is a way to create these players. So I added gates. They have two variants, the multiplication gate and the addition gate. Guess what they do? The multiplication code is, however, very scuffed, so shh. And yes, I had to implement another linked list because of them. Then, if they touch the player, a variable inside the struct is switched false, and when the gate goes off screen, it dies. To complete the cycle of life, I had to give up the player a way to die, too. Sorry, Vinland Saga, if you look at the original game, it has many enemies. I chose to add the spikes enemy and spin spikes enemy because the guy I stole this idea from had these enemies. I drew these works of art that belonged to the Louvre and started implementing a linked list. Because as Weizmann said once, free linked lists a charm. I first added the drawing and collisions of the still spiky enemy, which was kinda simple. I just drew him, checked for collisions with a bunch of if statements, which could have been replaced by one SDL function, and went to work on the rotating enemy. Oh boy, the rotating enemy. Surprisingly, rotating him wasn't that much of a problem since SDL provides a function for that. What SDL does not provide a function for, however, are rotational collisions, so I had to write my own function for that. And from the commit messages I made, and the amount of the debug logs, you can see that it wasn't fun. Like at all. I solved it by putting a bunch of points on the longer sides of the rectangle. I then rotate all of those points using the 2D rotational matrices and check if the player collides with any of those. I chose 30 points, so that means that each frame we have to iterate over 60 items. I of course thought that I could optimize it. I tried using some calculus methods and some other geometrical bullshit, and oh boy. You know the only thing it gave me? A lack of a will to live, a boredom that makes me look like a schizophrenic, and about 6 to 12 lost hours. Never again, man, never again. If you look at the game, however, you will realize that the game is goddamn ugly. Like uglier than me. So I added grass. Still, grass was too boring. So I made the grass move. Wunderbar. Now, the gate looks kinda out of place, so I stretched it and replaced the texture. I chose to change the style from the original game, since... well, I don't know, I was just too lazy to write a program to simulate water. I also changed the player, because, I don't know, the red guy was just too beautiful for this game. I redrew him to this guy, put him into the game, and why is it so ugly? I fumbled around with perspective when I realized it's because the players overlay strangely. I solved it by sorting the list using bubble sort because big OD's nuts. Then I started making levels, and by that I mean immediately getting bored and writing an algorithm to do it for me. It generates two random gates with a variable interval between them. Between them I also paste one of many presets that I made but refused to draw because lack of budget for this. The amount of gates is determined by the level and the random integer. The level is increased when both the gates and the obstacle lists are empty, when they run off screen. With this, the game is essentially finished. I added this hut, if you haven't noticed. I also polished the game some more, like changing colliders of the players, made the player regroup when passing through the gate, and added proper death screen. Wait, sound. Royalty-free sound effects acquired, tutorials watched, bitcode written, and oh look, we have sounds. Even though the game is a bit scuffed, I think it's pretty cool and helped me learn SDL2, which was its purpose. If you are interested in the game for some reason, you can go to its GitHub, where I will also put Linux build, and I decided to call the game Master++ because I don't know. Hlavně, že tady pořád je to UFO.
To nech do konce, to bude pořád. A nebo to napiš ten level třeba, ať to není tak uprostřed.